On the trade deal, which is the framework which is to be signed with India sometime soon, will that stand now? And on the decision, nothing changes?
No, nothing changes. They'll be paying tariffs, and we will not be paying tariffs. Our deal with India is they pay tariffs. This is a reversal from what it used to be, as you know. India, and I think Prime Minister Modi is a great gentleman, a great man, actually, but he was much smarter than the people that he was against. In terms of the United States, he was ripping us off in India. So we made a deal with India, and it's a fair deal now, and we are not paying tariffs to them, and they are paying tariffs. We did a little flip.
This is not just another trade tweak. This is a reset moment in the global trade order. And from India's point of view, the latest twist in Washington may actually open new doors. The United States Supreme Court has struck down several global tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump during the trade wars. The court ruled that his use of emergency powers to impose sweeping duties was unlawful. But within hours, Trump responded. He announced a fresh universal tariffs on imports, first 10%, then raising it to 15%. The world is now recalculating. For India, the numbers tell an important story. At one point, Indian exporters to the US were facing tariffs as high as 50%. That later dropped to 25%. Then it came down to 18% after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Trump finalized a trade framework. After the Supreme Court verdict, the rate briefly fell to 10% before settling at 15% under Section 122. Even at 15%, India is in a stronger position than before. It is lower than the earlier 18% framework rate. It is far below the so-called Liberation Day level of 26%. In relative terms, India emerges more competitive in the American market than it was just weeks ago. China too benefits from the court's decision. Some additional phenyl-linked tariffs were removed. Mexico gains on that front as well, but for Beijing, the strategic tension remains. China has urged Washington to cancel unilateral tariffs altogether, warning that there are no winners in a trade war. Interestingly, the United Kingdom may be among the biggest losers in this reshuffle. Britain was enjoying a 10% reciprocal tariff, lower than many others. That gave UK exporters a clear edge. Now, with a flat 15% rate for all, that advantage disappears. British business groups warn this could cost up to $3 billion and impact tens of thousands of firms. Europe is also uneasy. The European Union had negotiated a deal last year, capping most US tariffs at 15%. Now, Brussels wants clarity. European lawmakers are even considering freezing the ratification process until Washington explains its next steps. So what does this mean for India? Let us understand that. First, it reinforces India's growing leverage in a shifting global supply chain. As companies look to diversify beyond China, India's relative tariff position matters. A 15%, while not ideal, is manageable, especially compared to the volatility seen earlier. Second, it highlights the value of direct political engagement. The Modi-Trump framework appears to have cushioned India from harsher outcomes. In a world of unpredictable trade moves, bilateral diplomacy becomes critical. And third, it signals that the old trade order is fragmenting. Courts, presidents, parliaments are all now shaping tariffs policy in real time. Stability is no longer guaranteed. Now, from India's perspective, this is a moment of cautious advantage. The storm in Washington has not fully passed, but in this round, New Delhi appears better positioned than many expected.